Are you looking for some high-octane action? Something that's going to punch you in the mouth for 2 hours straight? Are you a fan of IP Man, The Forbidden Kingdom, hell, John Wick? Well, I've got the movie for you. We're going to be reviewing Life After Fighting right now.
Welcome to the Light, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. As always, I'm your wonderful host, Mr. Rant, and I would like to thank you very much for spinning plates for the early screening of this movie called Life After Fighting. Now, this particular Australian movie, when I got sent the request, I looked at the poster, but I didn't look at the synopsis. I thought, I'll go in cold and let's see what this is about. And for 120 minutes, it has an MA15 rating. This is something that I was not expecting at all. Now, it is a story about a retired martial arts champion who's taken the simple life, done something really quietly. He's opened up a gym and he's teaching and coaching kids and adults. However, two of his students start going missing and he discovers an international child trafficking ring, which turns into the fight of his life. And no joke, it does turn into that very quickly and a big explosive ending. Now, of course, we're going to talk about spoilers. So spoilers left, right, and center. So if you haven't seen this movie, definitely go check it out. If you haven't, then stay along. So this movie, the plot, this is not a movie you go in for the plot. This is a movie that you go on a Saturday night and you watch something that's going to punch you in the mouth. Something like, as I said, like The Forbidden Kingdom, Never Back Down. Something that's just, brutal and straight to the point, and you're looking for some just action. Now, this is an Australian film. This is drama. This is a thriller. This is action. This is directed and written by A Bren Foster. This man is an absolute weapon of a machine. He's a 9-time world champion, multiple martial arts degree. This guy could take you down 20 times before you hit the floor. And I know that's a cliche, but he could. And so he wanted to make this movie to display Australian martial arts and Australian action on the big screen. And you get this in this film. Now, the film, as I said, it only goes for 120 minutes. I would say 'I'd say about 70 minutes of it is probably pure action. There is multiple different fights that we see, both between Bren Foster, who plays Alex, against a crooked ex-husband, to a champion who's calling him out for one last fight, to his entire gym and 10 people going at him because he wants to save the kids and do the right thing. Now, this is basically a story of a man who just wants a quiet life, but trouble finds him, which I know you've heard before. But watching the film, yes, I still enjoy the plot. You do feel for the characters, how you would feel if your children would go missing. Do you take the John Wick road or do you take the Taken road on what you would do? And this is probably a mix between the both. And it's good. And not one moment in the 120 minutes did I think it was too much action or there wasn't enough plot or it was really slow. This is nice, tight little package of a film that is to satisfy both the action goer, for the thriller and the drama. It ticks everything off. And most of all, no CGI in this entire film. This is straight from the bat of what you're seeing is what they did on set, which is insane. Now, this is probably a film that I think will go under the radar. Not many people might see it, but I could not recommend this more highly. This reminds me of those early 2000s films. Yes, John Wick's, a little bit more recent, but Never Back Down, just those type of movies. You don't see that type of action very often anymore, that high intensity. If I think about John Wick, I think about IP Man, To a degree, which I know probably a couple of people were like, oh, that doesn't count at all. Like Shang-Chi had some really good action set pieces, which is one of the highlights why I love Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, that movie. And I think that's why it stands so well in the Marvel Universe, because it has one of the best action scenes. And this is another level to what you would see. So if you're, even if you love martial arts, you're looking for a drama, this is the type of film I highly recommend. Now, I know lately, the films that we've been reviewing have been more international, a little bit more softer. This, I know it's very cliche, but again, this is a punch in the freaking mouth. The cast are all fantastic, the acting's good, and the climax at the end is, just it all builds up, and you do feel like this is, if you had these skills, this is what you would do to everybody. And not to mention, it gets a couple of moments got really dark. There was one scene where unfortunately a child loses a finger, no shit, and you see it, and I was like, whoa, okay. That kind of caught me off guard. I was like, hey, but probably one of the biggest highlights I will say from the film that really showcases that, not so much the ending, not the beginning, but right in the middle, there is one of the characters called Irene, sorry, who, yes, is the current champion. He's calling him out. He's calling Alex out. One more fight. And eventually he goes to his gym and says, look, I need to know. We need to fight it out. I need to know if I'm better than you or what that last fight was. Because one of the things that Alex does struggle with, the main character, is the fact that, he lost his last fight on purpose. Because his body was done. He was reaching the end. And he knew what he had to do. And the fight between these two athletes is just smack bang right in front of you. And it's just such a good fight. And the whole time you are guessing who's going to win. Well, besides, Alex will going to win. But Alex takes a few punches. He gets real on the ground. The other guy gets two. And the final few seconds of the fight is just brutal. Now, this is not a film that you're looking for a big plot and massive set piece. This is something you're looking for, something intimate and a punch in the goddamn mouth. But I would love to know, have you seen this film? What do you think of it? And would you like to see a sequel? Me, 100% I'd like to see a sequel. I would love, to see what could happen next and make this into a trilogy like what happened to IP Man and John Wick. So I am all in. You can punch that ticket. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, what your thoughts were, and was there too much action or would you rather more plot? I'd love to know. So that is my review for Life After Fighting. And as always, until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.